Hi, sis. Welcome back, everybody.
Good morning.
We're we're on lesson 58, and we're on which is review, and we've got 5 ideas to cover in this review. So, sis, do you feel like reading?
Yeah, the first one is my holiness envelops everything I see. Just as a reminder again that our holiness is not some kind of abstract, what would you call it, attribute, that we have. It's actually our changeless, incorruptible innocence. Remember? Yeah,
Right.
just double checking that you remember what that is. So, my holiness envelops everything I see means that my incorruptible innocence envelops everything I see. And incorruptible innocence cannot judge anything or condemn anyone, including itself. I'll keep reading here. From my holiness does the perception of the real world come. Having forgiven, I no longer see myself as guilty. I can accept the innocence that is the truth about me. Seen through understanding eyes, the holiness of the world, in other words, the innocence of the world, is all I see. For I can picture only the thoughts I hold about myself. Can we just stop there? Because this, I remember going through this one and I didn't really, I got insights, but they didn't stick when I first began the course all those decades ago. So I'm thinking probably most people will be like me. And let's just talk about, he says here, from my holiness, my innocence, does a perception of the real world come. So that the real world is not something that's coming to us. The real world, which is the perfect, the corrected dream, yeah, is already here. And the only way that I can see it and enjoy it and participate really in it is through my own forgiveness of myself for having perceived that there's separation, you know.
Right.
Did you want to add to that, sis?
Yeah, I do. I mean, it really puts the full weight or focus that your entire experience rests upon your acceptance of what you think you are. So, because projection makes perception, it all starts in the mind. We've made a decision about what we are, and that's going to envelop everything that you see. So, it's going to determine what you see, how you see it, what interpretation you give it, and what you're using it for. And so, it comes back to what are you? The answer to the question, what am I? Is it the fearful, separate, guilty one looking, or is it the Holy Son of God who has accepted his or her innocence and sees only images and symbols of union and holiness? So, are you innocent or are you sin incarnate? Are you the holy self or are you ego? Right. So, how you determine what you are is going to envelop and report back to you everything that you see.
Including the body?
Everything. Yes, from the mind out. So the mind, body, senses, world.
Yeah.
So that's the work, right? Understand what we are and to be able to accept the holiness and the innocence that, that we are. Understanding that.
Sometimes it's very easy to do.
Sometimes not.
Don't you hate that? Don't you just hate it? You got to laugh, all right? Those times when, you know, we've only had 1 hour sleep the night before and the ego's going, ree, 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 telling us what a sinful son of a what we are, or daughter of a what. And, man.
Yeah. And you could
right?
feel into the bypass that occurs if you're like really you're trying to see others as holy, you're trying to see the innocence in others. You want to see a real world or a happy experience, the happy dream. But while you are judging and condemning yourself, you can see why that's this bypass. You know, you can't make holy out there while what's looking believes it's sin incarnate.
Yeah, well, this morning when I woke up, the ego had a good old time last night trying to tempt me.
Hmm.
And when I woke up, first thing I heard within, and I have to laugh, was beware to perceive yourself as unfairly treated.
Yeah.
I knew we were doing this lesson today, right? This review lesson.
Yeah.
And I was like, wow, my holiness envelops everything I see. Who's seeing?
That's the question.
Okay, the one that feels unfairly treated has got to see its own self-condemnation, right?
Yes.
Is it real? Yeah, so I had to make a quick 180-degree turn, flip, and go, okay, I've had my turn at seeing through the ego's guilt filter, and I don't like it.
Right.
So now I would like to see through my holiness, my innocence. Yeah,
And
that's why
that's
I can smile now.
as the unfairly treated one can go, right? There's the decision that I'm having all these negative emotions. I don't want this. Choose again. Give it to Holy Spirit. Say, show me my incorruptible innocence. I want to feel the truth that I am holy. The way that my mind's thinking and perceiving right now is, it's not. But these are beautiful, just anchoring that these logicking out, from or reasoning out from the step by step. Yeah, if when we know our holiness and our innocence, it does envelop everything that I see. So how important it is to really turn and desire to know that innocence.
Yeah.
This, thank you.
You.
Yeah.
Would you like to read the next one?
Sure. My holiness or incorruptible innocence blesses the world. The perception of my holiness does not bless me alone. Everyone and everything I see in its light shares in the joy it brings to me. There is nothing that is apart from this joy because there is nothing that does not share my holiness. As I recognize my own holiness, so does the holiness of the world shine forth for everyone to see.
Beautiful. So, so beautiful.
Isn't that lovely?
Yeah. Yeah. And for those of us, I'm going back in the ego's memory right now, so forgive me for that, but we're repurposing
Helpful.
it for teaching purposes, right? Learning purposes. Yeah. But I remember doing these lessons when I began the course, and I was in a highly toxic special relationship at the time. And my partner did not want to know about A Course in Miracles. So doing these lessons was very helpful for me. But I do recall, this lesson, which is my holiness blesses the world. I recall having the thought, well, my partner is, having a bad day, is angry, is resentful. Well, he's not doing this course, right?
Right.
And if I really immerse myself in these lessons, this being my holiness blesses the world, aren't I abandoning him? I don't know if you can get what I'm saying. What I'm trying to say here is that it confronted the ego in my mind
Mhm.
that used to collude, you know, with his poor me stories, yeah,
Okay.
or anybody's poor me stories in all of my old special relating.
Mhm.
And I could see that the ego felt like I was uh, betraying it
Mhm.
by pulling my mind away and really immersing myself in these lessons and gaining the peace, the inner peace
Mhm.
from really holding that innocence and not colluding
Right.
with the special relationships that I had back then at the time. Does that make sense?
Yeah, because that's the definition of love. Like our partner's upset and we join them in their misery because that's what love does. And now we're saying, okay, I'm not going to go down that rabbit hole with you. I'm not agreeing with this. This is, this is nothing but an illusion. And I want to stand here as the answer. I want to have the light in my mind that I can shine out from my mind. And yeah, so it's the ego now knows, oh, you're at odds with the whole goal, right? So it's starting to sizzle. Yeah, getting
Yeah,
very suspicious.
beautiful. Thank you.
Mhm.
Did you want to keep going with that or?
Nope, I'm just coming back to this. I'm wondering if there was anything else to mention. Yeah, the recognition that we're not doing this as a privatized mind, that there is nothing that is apart from this joy because there is nothing that does not share my holiness. Everything is holy. And as I'm recognizing it, right, that's the waking up of the one shared mind that seems to be sleeping. So we're doing it not just for me or us, but for all.
Well, this practice absolutely transcends self-interest, right?
Yes. That's what makes it holy.
Yeah, that's what makes it holy.
Yeah.
So, shall we go to the third one?
Sure.
There is nothing my holiness, my innocence cannot do. My holiness is unlimited in its power to heal because it is unlimited in its power to save. Sorry,
Mm,
save. I saw the word see.
yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting.
What is there to be saved from except illusions? And what are all illusions except false ideas about myself? There's that ego filter that
Mhm.
we're seeing the body and the world through, right?
Right.
Um, my holiness undoes them all by asserting the truth about me. In the presence of my holiness, my innocence, which I share with God Himself, all idols vanish. Yes,
All
all, all of them.
there a hierarchy of idols?
No, but we really do believe there is.
Yes. Well,
Right?
that's the defense against this truth, right?
It is.
Without my idols, without the illusions about what I think I am,
Mm.
then my innocence would come shining forth. Absent the building blocks that I've placed, removing those, what we are as holy, as innocence, shines forth. And that
And
obliterates all
that's
dark
it.
imagery. Yeah.
Yeah. And sis, that's the light,
Yeah.
right?
Yes.
That incorruptible innocence is the light
Yes.
of the world, which is the light of the Son of God, which is who we are. Yeah.
That's
And
well.
that's what we're defending against whenever we're fearful. Because
Yes. Yes. The light obliterates what we think we are as mythical me. A perfect love would obliterate the mythical me that we think we are. So these are everything that we use to not recall or not to experience that are these idols. The body and mythical me being the central idol.
okay, so we put sickness in there, pain, special relationships, um, deprivation, lack.
Yes, this whole gap is our idol. That's our defense. Yeah,
Okay, thank God for that gap diagram.
I'm telling you, I don't know where I'd be with that.
Okay, your turn.
Okay, my holiness is my salvation. Isn't that beautiful that the holiness is always a fixed fact, parked and ready for our merest, slightest acceptance? That's our salvation. Okay, sorry. Since my holiness saves me from all guilt, to recognize my holiness is to recognize my salvation. It is also to recognize the salvation of the world. There we go again, just linking it all into one whole. Once I have accepted my holiness, nothing can make me afraid. And because I am unafraid, everyone must share in my strength and understanding, which are the gift of God to me and to the world. Seems like he's
Wow.
stitching these together now. It's just how important it is to know thyself, and that knowing thyself is not a private affair. There is no private awakening, that the entire world is blessed and saved along with us while we do this, because you can't accept your holiness without being willing to share it with every brother, sister in the sonship, right? There's just one of us here.
Beautiful. That last sentence, can you read that last sentence again, please? Because
Yes.
this, in the FIP version, which I'm reading from,
Yes.
is different than your Circle of Atonement version of A Course in Miracles.
Well, I'll read mine and you read yours. And because I am unafraid, everyone must share in my strength and understanding, which are the gift of God to me and to the world. And that's really key, because fear interrupts communion. Fear is what we use to separate ourselves off from our brothers. So absent fear, we allow and know, capital K, of union, of our entirety in God.
Yeah, very good.
What's yours say?
It says, and because I am unafraid, everyone must share in my understanding, which is the gift of God to me and to the world. Now, something key here has been edited out, and that is the word strength.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you why. And I mean, not why it was edited out. I don't know why, but why it's important to bring it back in, the word strength, is because innocence, unopposed innocence,
Yes.
undivided innocence, and strength are one. You cannot, it's impossible to have strength without this incorruptible, undivided, and unopposed innocence. Strength and innocence are one and the same thing. And I'm just wondering why that word strength was taken out, right? It just changes. It changes the understanding or the meaning when we take the word strength out. Okay.
Can I quickly share how I made that link? Why is innocence strength? It was a vision of a very small child, very white, light-skinned baby wearing like diapers, and no clothes on, but just diapers. And it was walking. Actually, I was walking along a path as an adult, and the sky became very dark, very ominous, very threatening. And I was on high alert and very afraid. And I was looking up at the sky, and I saw in the sky this eye open, like reptile looking eye. It was a red eye, and it was looking at me. And I knew without a single doubt that its goal was my death. So this thing was going to take me out. And then something in my peripheral caught my attention, and I looked down, and this cherub looking like little baby, just barely walking, has walked by me and is now in front of me and is taking no notice of anything but the little chubby arm and the finger, and this little baby's chattering away, and it's going ahead. And I looked up and I saw fear enter the reptile eye. Like it became afraid, and it dissolved in the presence of the child. And I didn't understand what the vision meant, but what I came to understand was in the presence of innocence, that error, evil, the ego, knows that it can't find anything to respond to it in a mind that is completely free of fear. So innocence is the mind that there's no hook. You can look upon anything and everything, and this child took no cognizance, gave it no respect, and look at, just kept on doing what it was doing. And error knows that that is its annihilation. So innocence is our strength, because innocence is the mind that's free of fear. Fear can't influence the one that knows its holiness.
Oh, I just got the chills. That was fantastic, sis. Thank you
I
so
love
much
it.
for sharing that.
Yeah.
Feeling it, really feeling it. That's it. Innocence and strength are one. All right. And we've reached that. We reached that amalgamation, unification, whatever, through forgiveness, through forgiving ourselves for having perceived the possibility of separation in the first place. All right. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Okay, the last one.
Sorry. Yes, the last one. And I forgot to turn my cell phone off. Forgive me, everyone.
You're
All
forgiven.
those pings and everything. Oh, my Lord. Here we go.
I'm going to text you. To mess you up.
What's that?
So I'm going to text you right now just to mess you up. I'm just kidding.
Don't you dare. Okay, last one. Who's reading it?
You are.
Okay. I am blessed as a son of God. Oh, that's a nice one to feel into. I am blessed as a son of God. Herein lies my claim to all good and only good. I am blessed as a son of God. All good things are mine because God intended them for me. I cannot suffer any loss or deprivation or pain because of who I am, with a capital W, who, the Christ self. My Father supports me, protects me, and directs me in all things. His care for me is infinite and is with me forever. I am eternally blessed as his son. Wow.
I want to keep reading that one and put it on the put it on my wall. I remember I had a healing just reading that sentence. I cannot suffer any loss or deprivation or pain because of who I am. Only mythical me, only in the ego seems to suffer, but I am not that. My Father created me. My Father supports me and protects me and directs me all things. The fact that I am the Son of God keeps me safe because my holiness and my innocence is intact.
So that puts paid to the idea that we need to earn God's love.
Oh, yeah. Yes. Yeah, that there goes all the thoughts of striving, achieving, trying, straining, stressing, using the I know mind, trying to save ourselves, to come unto God. That's that about face, turning around and taking your place as what you are, which you are the Son of God right now. You are an expression of God. You are an outward expression of God. You are not the one that seems to be striving, placing the gap between us and God and then straining and striving to come back to God. There's been no gap. There's been no loss. There's been no separation ever.
Thank you. And it takes no time to be the beloved Son of God that we are. No time. Time doesn't factor into it.
The journey without distance is just a waking up to what I already am. I'm not one apart. I am the one at home in God.
It's awakening, yes, but it's it's a now moment willingness to receive what we already are. That's it. And there's so much peace, so much support, so much love in that moment that we really receive it. That's accepting the atonement.
Right.
Yeah. Thank you.
In support of today's lesson, we're going to put down below a link to a beautiful blog written by our sister Nouk called Healing a Separate Sense of Self. It really bolsters, again, a lot of the ideas in the last few lessons, including that there's no private will, no private minds, no differences. You know, the ego is fully intent on seeing differences to bolster the idea that there has been a separation, that we all have a shared identity as the holy self, the one shared holy self. And also to truly know our innocence, to be able to accept any of these statements, we must be willing to extend these truths to, you know, like where he says in 2 and 4, it's like, to me and to the world. If I want to just accept the holiness for myself, but I'm not willing to see my brother as holy innocent, then I don't really want it. I don't understand the basis of my innocence if I would keep innocence for myself, but not my brother. So to know it, we have to extend it without exception.
Which leads me to one more recommendation.
Sure.
And that is that most on the course's journey tend to be very isolated. Yeah. I know I was when I first began the course. And what most of us really need is we need to be able to practice this with other like-minded people who share the same goal of forgiveness. It's very difficult to do this when we're in a constellation, in a family constellation or whatever, friends, and we're the only one, you know, in there, like the pioneer, that is bringing in forgiveness and doing it all alone. And we've got to, like, it's almost impossible to not get sucked into colluding with their egos, their specialness stories and stuff like that. And while it's great to be able to learn how to forgive ourselves for perceiving all of this, it is so encouraging and supportive to be in a group of others who are doing this journey. So I'm recommending that if you haven't already joined our Total Transformation course, which is affectionately called the TTC online course, goes for a year. Please look at it, see if it feels like it's for you, and we're looking forward to seeing you there.
Yeah, thank you, sis.
So there will be a link. There will be a link, if I remember to make sure it happens. There will be a link to the TTC so you can check it out. Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay. TTC.
All right.
Yep.
Thanks for joining, everybody. That was lesson 58, review lesson. We'll see you next time. Thank you.
Thank you, sis. Thank
Thanks.
you.